Hey everybody, what's up? I want to welcome you all to Lower Manhattan. It's going to be a short stream. I just finished some work here, and I have about an hour to kill before I got to head back to the office. So, I thought I'd just take you all on a little bit of a walking tour around the financial district, specifically Wall Street. Now, we're also going to be talking about some of the real estate down here, particularly a new development. Well, I should say this. It is the largest, and I repeat, it is the largest office to condominium conversion in the history of the city, and it is One Wall Street. It's a really cool place. However, it's having a little bit of trouble selling. We're going to talk about why, but it is beautiful in there. Again, the address is One Wall Street, and it sits right across the street from Trinity Church. So let me go ahead and clip the microphone on here. Hope all of you are well. And we'll take a look at Wall Street. We'll take a random walk down Wall Street, if you will. And we'll get started. Beautiful day in Lower Manhattan, beautiful day in New York City. Even though it is a little bit gray, at least it's not raining, right? At least it's not raining at all. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. And then we will get started. Hey, the Bear is here. Says good afternoon. Christy N, what's up? Says I took a vacation today. I'm glad to catch you live. Well, hopefully you're having a fantastic time on your vacation. Now, this big building all the way right here, that is the old Deutsche Bank. So that used to be the German investment bank that trades under the ticker symbol DB. Now, as you know, Deutsche Bank has now migrated all the way uptown to the Time Warner Center, well, the former Time Warner Center. So, a lot to talk about down here. We're now at 28 Liberty. As we continue to walk towards the World Trade Center, you're going to have really nice views here. But, I think this is a nice place to work and to live. Although it seems as if a lot of businesses have been migrating away from Lower Manhattan, specifically going to Midtown Manhattan and Columbus Circle. So you have I would say a lot of high vacancy here. If you want to think about commercial real estate office, right, so CRE office in New York, where we are standing right now in Lower Manhattan, we have the highest vacancy rates for commercial office. Now you're probably wondering why. And it's a good question. Well, a lot of the buildings down here are a little bit older, right? As you can kind of tell. As we'll continue on our walk through the financial district, you'll really start to understand, just based upon the visuals, a lot of the older buildings down here. And it's really fallen out of fashion. Now, particularly as it relates to finance, it's kind of funny we're talking about it right now because that building right in front of us is the Federal Reserve. We're actually going to hear from the Federal Reserve later this week as they announce their updated monetary policy at the conclusion of the FOMC meeting that's going to be on Wednesday, November 1st. But, as you think about Wall Street, right, where we're going to walk down today, back in the day, if you were a broker-dealer, a trader, something like that, you kind of needed to be down here, right? That's where all the activity happened. But then we got the internet, then we got high-frequency trading, then we got algorithmic trading, and you really don't need to be down at the New York Stock Exchange and on Wall Street to trade and transact and do business. So ever since the internet, a lot of the major banks, the broker-dealers, the hedge funds, family offices, a lot of them have actually migrated uptown. Here's a pretty cool view. Right in front of the doors at the Federal Reserve, you could see the two police officers there. A lot of people don't know this, but the Federal Reserve has their own police force. Yeah, that's right, the Federal Reserve Police. And this is where I think the majority of the world's gold is stored. I believe 2 or 3 stories below the ground in this building, the majority of the world's gold reserves are stored there. But anyway, to sort of piggyback off of what I was saying, and it is quite beautiful down here because the buildings are quite tall, so it sort of feels like you're in a little bit of a maze. But over the years, a lot of the big banks have migrated uptown into Midtown Manhattan, near Park Avenue, near Grand Central Station, and near Times Square. We just talked about how Deutsche Bank, which was the last standing investment bank on the physical street of Wall Street, they have now vacated 60 Wall Street and they occupied the old Time Warner Center, which is an amazing, amazing space, and you're really a lot closer to the action, so to speak. If you think about 59th Street, Columbus Circle, it's very close to 57th Street, Billionaires Row. So I would imagine a lot of the customers and a lot of the clients who bank with Deutsche Bank are a lot closer to their institution now. Hey, I see Lena Sandoval is here. What is up? Ivan says, can you explain to us again why we should hate the Federal Reserve? I wouldn't say that. I mean, you could really do whatever you want. I don't think you need to hate the Federal Reserve. I think the Federal Reserve gets a lot of flack because I guess one could say they quote unquote manipulate markets. The Federal Reserve is just the central bank of the United States, right? There's global central banks, like you have the ECB, you have the BOJ and the Bank of Japan, and the BOE, the Bank of England. And essentially they pull the levers on the economy. They either tighten or lax or make it a more relaxed monetary policy environment based upon inflation, right? And that's exactly what we're sort of seeing now in the United States. Ever since inflation started to kick up, if you look in March of 2022, I believe, CPI hit an all-time high, well, I should say for the decade, of about 9.1%. So inflation really started to get out of hand. And then guess what? The Federal Reserve had to come in here and pump the brakes on the economy. So they raised interest rates. They've taken the Fed funds rate all the way from pretty much zero to 5.25% to 5.5%, which makes money expensive. Right? That's pretty much really all it does. Looks like there's some major construction going on here. But that's what the Federal Reserve does. They pull the levers on the economy and they print a bunch of money and they create inflation. That's been the main, I should say, critic of the Federal Reserve, right? So I wouldn't say I'm telling you to hate anything. It's just that's sort of how the monetary system works in a sort of fiat system. They could just print money at will whenever they want. But now we are pretty much in a transition from extreme quantitative easing to QT, quantitative tightening. And that's why we've been seeing significant pressure being put on asset prices, particularly stocks, and now real estate is going to start to feel that pinch, if you will. Hey, Stephanie's here. Welcome to Lower Manhattan. Good to see you. It's going to be about an hour walk around. I just have an hour gap in the schedule today at work, so I thought I would turn on the camera. We have it on the wide angle lens. Hopefully it's light enough where it shows up good, but we'll see. It is extremely cloudy today, very hazy. Thank God it's not raining, but hey, John Casey, what's up? Good to see you, John. Now we're gonna make a left on Broadway, and I want to show you a very notable building. Now the building is called One Wall Street. And One Wall Street used to be a big, big office building. Very, very big. And Harry Macklowe, who I'm sure a lot of you know, he is the main architect behind 432 Park Avenue. Right, that is his prime building that he developed with CIM Group. He then bought One Wall Street, which stands right across the street from Trinity Church. It's over 500 units in the building, and all of the kitchens in the units are the same exact kitchens and the same exact finishes as the ones in 432 Park Avenue. So it is extremely, extremely luxurious. Now, the problem is the following. As we've explained over the last 10 minutes here or so on the stream, a lot of the companies and a lot of the workers, generally speaking in Manhattan, they don't really work in Lower Manhattan. I know it seems kind of busy right now, but it's nothing compared to how busy it is in Midtown Manhattan. So many people view it as it's out of the way. And if you're priced at a premium, which a lot of the units at One Wall Street are, I mean, it's an amazing building, it's just not selling well because you have a lot of inventory in that building, over 500 units, and they are priced at very, very high, almost ultra luxurious price points. So this is Zuccotti Park. I always like to come down here and show you guys this because this is a very historic park here in New York City. The reason why it's so historic to me is right after the Great Financial Crisis, this was the home ground for the Occupy Wall Street protests. I'm sure all of you remember that. They were right here on the corner of Liberty Street and Broadway, right in front of 140 Broadway. And this was the main Occupy Wall Street protesters. I mean, there was hundreds of them all in this park. And if you have time, I'll give you guys a podcast to listen to. I think you'd enjoy it, and it's very, very educational. It was done by Peter Schiff, and Peter Schiff is the CEO and founder of Euro Pacific Capital, or Euro Pacific Bank. And he came down here and did a documentary series with Reason TV. I'm not even sure if Reason TV is around anymore, but anyway, the docu-series was called I Am the 1%, and essentially what Peter Schiff was trying to do is come down to Zuccotti Park and have a dialogue with the protesters and sympathize with them, right? Because generally speaking, he agrees with the fact that they should be angry, but they shouldn't be angry at technically Wall Street. They should have directed their anger towards the Federal Reserve, who essentially ignited the flames of the fire, right? Fueled the flames of the fire. Again, that goes back to that conversation about pulling the levers on the economy, going from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. But check that docu-series out. If you go to YouTube and you type in Peter Schiff, I Am the 1%, it's really good. Really, really like that. Oh, wow, Dick's. Very cool. Since I was there at that square when Jackson Browne showed up. Nice. Now, it is a little bit cloudy, but I want to see if the World Trade Center is in view. A lot of times when it's this cloudy, the World Trade Center seems to be totally covered, but we'll see. It was raining like crazy yesterday. Yeah, Storm Rider says the Fed's middle a little bit too much with economic conditions. Well, essentially, I guess if we were to sum it up in one sentence, right? And in my opinion, I believe the Federal Reserve exacerbates boom and bust cycles. Does that kind of make sense? That's how I would describe it. They exacerbate the velocity and the ferociousness of boom and bust cycles. And that's why you have this irrational exuberance at the end of every major bull market, right? And I think we could all agree 2021 was absolutely just nuts. Absolutely just totally cartoonishly ridiculous as it relates to irrational exuberance in the market. I'm sure you remember all of the meme stocks and the GameStop nonsense. That is all the type of nonsensical behavior you see at the very, very end of bull markets, right? When you have excess liquidity floating around, when you have very stimulative monetary environment, you have people speculating and they think they're geniuses and trading in the stock market and trading in cryptocurrencies and all this other nonsense. And you have this big euphoric blow off top, and that really sends us into the bear market, if you will. Hey, Hawaii is here. Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. So what you're looking at now is the beautiful reflection pools right here at Ground Zero. We'll walk over there really quick. So you'll see the two reflecting pools. And then right here is a magnificent view of One World Trade Center. Now, unfortunately, you can't really see the top of the World Trade Center. It's so tall that, you know, the very top of the building is quite literally in the clouds. But very seldom do we come down here during the day. So before we go to Wall Street and kind of double back here, I want to show everybody the reflecting pools here. Hey, David Sommers, welcome. Welcome to New York City from Southern California. So what do you guys think of the wide angle camera lens? Hopefully it's picking up quite nicely. This looks quite beautiful here with all the leaves falling off the trees. And look at that backdrop. You see all the leaves changing colors on the trees. It looks really, really beautiful behind the two reflecting pools. Hey, Alice Woodward, what's up? Good to see you. All right, let's head back to Wall Street because I am on a little bit of a time crunch today. Hey, Western Mass Dave. This is hello, Tom. Always enjoy the Lower Manhattan walks. Yeah, I was in the neighborhood today. It is beautiful down here. Thank God it didn't rain today. And it's not as windy as I had expected it to be. So it's definitely nice here. But Dave, we are going to double back. We're going to take a look at Trinity Church. And I'm going to show everybody One Wall Street, which is the largest office to condo conversion in the city. And famous real estate developer Harry Macklow, that's his project. This is the 9/11 Memorial wall here. I think they did a really great job here. Hey, Fascinating is joining us. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, it's good to see this every once in a while during the day. I think it comes out a little bit better than on our nightly live streams. Hey, no artist, no title. This is upstate New York checking in. World Trade Center looks beautiful. Good to see all of our viewers from upstate New York. You know, I'm sure upstate looks absolutely gorgeous this time of year. Usually the foliage schedule happens a little bit sooner in upstate, mainly because the temperatures are a little bit colder. So I could only imagine what the autumn leaves look like in upstate New York. It probably looks absolutely amazing. But on tonight's live stream, we're going to talk about the continued volatility in the bond market and a potential relief rally going into the last 2 months out of the year. We'll make a right on Liberty, and then another right on Broadway, and then we will be back to Wall Street. Wow, Joe C says it's snowing here in Denver, Colorado. Wow. Yeah, it's not that cold here yet. Not that cold here yet. Tomorrow, please God, it'll be sunny, but today is going to be cloudy pretty much all day in Manhattan. Storm Rider says our autumn leaves in Denver took a hit with 11 inches of snow. Whew. I don't know if I can handle that this early in the year. It's looking like you'll probably have a very white Christmas this year. If you make a left on Church Street, that'll run you right into the Oculus. We might as well take a quick peek at that, just so you can see what it looks like during the day. And then you'll see the very notable Jenga building all the way up in Tribeca. It's one of the most notable buildings in Tribeca. Now, on a price per square foot basis, Tribeca is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Manhattan. If you compare the average price per square foot to other neighborhoods in the borough, it is extremely, extremely expensive, and mainly because it's a very fashionable neighborhood right now. We actually have a listing. We just went live with it about 5 days ago, maybe not even. 5 Franklin Place. It's a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom, beautiful apartment in Tribeca. All right, now the Oculus is just coming into view right now. You can see it to the left. Hey, the Mighty Bull is here. What's up? You know, I'm surprised to see a lot of tourists out today. It's actually a lot busier than I would have expected in Lower Manhattan. So this is the Oculus. And if you go inside the Oculus, you'll see the famous Apple store in there. It's like a major, major mall. They have all different places to eat, a lot of shopping. And then there's that World Trade Center again. And then all the way in the distance, behind the World Trade Center, is 200 West Street. And 200 West Street is the headquarters of Wall Street mega bank Goldman Sachs. And then again, all the way in the distance, that blue building sticking up, that is the Jenga building. Hey, Austin City Limits, what's up? It's good to see you. Hey, Tom Smith, what's up? This is early stream today. Yeah, you know, I have about an hour break in between my work schedule, so I thought I'd quickly pop on. And I really want to show you guys One Wall Street, so that's where we're going to head to right now. Right now we are near Fulton Street, which is one of the main terminals here for the subway. I used to get off here and Wall Street when I worked down here many moons ago. And the neighborhood has changed so much. You know, speaking about condominiums, if you look all the way in the distance, that's 130 William. And 130 William was one of the best-selling condos in New York City of 2022. The architect on the project was Sir David Ajade, really notable and well-renowned architect in New York. And 130 William is a stunning, stunning building. I believe it's 90% sold out, the building. And they do have a few resales on the market. I actually went to the preview of that building. Really, really stunning. Amazing amenities. An amazing architectural detail on the outside of the facade. It's most notable for the windows. I'm sure all of you if you Google 130 William, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about as it relates to those windows. Really, really nice. Hey, Eyeglass Lady, what's up? Thanks for joining us on this brisk Manhattan afternoon. Hopefully you're doing well. DC, Christopher Downer, what's up? Good to see you. Now I think we're going to see a lot more of these office to condo conversions moving into the next 3 to 5 years in New York City. But it's not going to be easy, and not every deal works. The most high-profile deal right now is the Flatiron Building. We've talked about that before on the live stream, but it's going to be converted into 40 different condominiums, which actually doesn't seem like a whole lot. You know, looking at the Flatiron Building and trying to conceptualize that, 40 condos seems to be a little bit bespoke, doesn't it? Now maybe that's a good thing, right? Because maybe the developer is, you know, trying to make it like a sought after piece, which makes sense. You know, do you want to own a piece of the Flatiron Building? There's only 40 bespoke condos available. If you made it into like 100 different condos, I'm not sure if it would sell that good. So I think the idea of going for a lower amount of units is the right decision. Because as you'll see here coming up in a minute, it's this building right here. It's this massive one. That's the top of the tower right there. This is One Wall Street. And Harry Macklowe tried to make it ultra luxury, which it is. It's just a stunning, amazing building in there. It has saltwater swimming pool. It has, I think, a bowling alley, all of these amazing amenities. It even has like a WeWork style office for the residences. It has a Whole Foods inside the building. But scarcity was where they went wrong a little bit, because there's 580 units. So if you have 580 units priced at a very high price per square foot, you don't really feel that exclusivity. But on the other hand, in a Flatiron Building type scenario, right? If it's only 40 units, you know, imagine being one of 40 people who own a piece of the Flatiron Building. That creates that scarcity. So I agree with the marketing. I don't know, what do you guys think? Are you following that sort of? You following that? Do you agree, disagree? I think if you can go too big on the units sometimes, it's going to be very hard to move that product. Hey, Cosmo's here. What's up, Cosmo? Trust you're doing well. We are now right outside Trinity Church. We have made it to Wall Street. This is the very end of it. And you'll see the building with the big red flags on it. This is officially One Wall Street. It's an amazing, amazing building. Absolutely huge. Now I will say this. Check that out. So this used to be a massive office building. And as I've said, they've converted it to condos. Now, a lot of the units that have sold already are the units that look directly in to the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, that's right. So there are some units in One Wall Street where your living room looks directly into the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. They actually had some studio apartments there, which is really, really amazing. I'll show you what I mean as we head under this scaffolding here. You could actually see the units that look right into the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. All right, so now we are officially on Wall Street. We will take a walk down Wall Street. under the scaffolding, and you'll see the New York Stock Exchange. Now, right at this gate here, if you look up to the right, you'll see some of the windows. I gotta turn on my do not disturb mode. But as you'll see here, a lot of the units at One Wall Street, it'll look right into the floor of the exchange. So the 3rd floor, the 5th floor, pretty much all the way up to the 16th floor, if you have a unit that is facing southbound, well, guess what? You can look directly into the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, which is a very unique view that pretty much nobody has in the entire world. So it's no wonder why those units were definitely sold first. Now we'll continue to walk down towards Federal Hall, but the majority of the building is actually unsold. It's about 90% vacant. So they're having a really hard time moving a lot of that product for reasons that we've talked about before. All right, so now this is the corner of Wall Street and Broad Street. You can see the very famous Federal Hall. This is where George Washington was inaugurated. So the first president of the United States was sworn into office right on the stairs of this building here. Now, unfortunately, it is under scaffolding, and it's going to be this way for about 10 years. The building is so old, pretty much in disrepair, they've had to hire a special company to restore the entire facade and the architectural integrity of the structure. So, unfortunately, the scaffolding is going to be up for about 10 years. Hey, Andrew, this is greetings from the office. Love the daytime walks. Thank you, Andrew. I got to head back into the office in about 30 minutes here, but just wanted to quickly pop on the stream, check out One Wall Street, Harry Maclau's project, Trinity Church, and the New York Stock Exchange, which is also an amazing, pretty much historical building now. Very, very little trading actually goes on at the New York Stock Exchange, pretty much none, relative to what it was before. You can kind of see the ticker tape going across the bottom there. Yeah, Stormrider says the scaffolding business is booming in New York. Yeah, now when I worked down here, I used to sit right on those stairs and have lunch before I would go back to work. But now, unfortunately, you know, George Washington is totally encased in scaffolding now, so it's a little bit of a big issue. Now that building all the way in the distance, the big one that's encased in glass, that's vacant, and I think that's going to be another office to condo conversion. And that was Deutsche Bank. That was the last standing bulge bracket investment bank on the street. They have now vacated and gone to the Time Warner Center. All right, we'll loop around and we will go back to Broadway and check out the Mighty Bull. Someone says that's 60 Wall Street, the old JP Morgan building. Way back in the day, but most recently it was Deutsche Bank, and they've just vacated, and they have now taken over the old AOL Time Warner Center, which was a Related Properties Group development. It has the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in there, it has amazing condos in there, and it also has retail and some Michelin star restaurants in there too. Hey, War Walker, good to see you from Miami, Florida. Always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining. If you're enjoying the stream so far, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We usually do these streams starting at 8:30 at night, but if I have an hour or two during the middle of the day, I'll pop on if there's something interesting I want to show you guys. Hey, Kevin is here. Hey, Tom. Kevin, I got your email. Appreciate it. I'll check it out. I definitely will check that out. So thank you for that. Now they have all the barricades up here, pretty much after 9/11. There's extra security before you drive in front of the stock exchange. You'll see the bomb sniffing dog and everything like that. We'll make a right on Beaver Street, and that'll take us all the way to Broadway. And then you'll see the very famous Mighty Bull. Alexander says this area is very relaxing to walk around. I agree. I really liked it down here when I worked down here. It was nice, particularly in the spring and in the summer and in the fall. But the winter is very, very brutal to work down here. It is very windy and it is very cold down here, particularly. Now on tonight's live stream, on our main stream, we're going to do a deep dive and try to figure out what's going on in the bond market, because there's a lot of volatility happening in the bond market today. If you want to take a look at yields, you just go to cnbc.com/bonds. Once again, cnbc.com/bonds, and you'll be able to take a look at the yield curve, and yields are back up today. Look at all the beautiful architecture here. Amazing. A lot different than, Park Avenue, 57th Street. Wow, someone says they used to live down here and paid $1,200 a month for rent. It's a steal. Could only imagine. Now look at the line to check out the Mighty Bull on Wall Street. It's good news that you're seeing a lot of tourist activity come back though. That's a positive, particularly for small businesses in the service sector economy in New York. It's very good to see this. And it's a Monday afternoon. Yeah, Monday afternoon, and it is absolutely packed down here with the tourists, which is good. It's actually very good to see. We're not too far away from the South Ferry bus terminal, or the South Ferry Staten Island terminal for the Staten Island Ferry. Hey, the Mighty Bull, thank you so much for your very kind and generous donation. Appreciate it. Yeah, the line for the Mighty Bull today is quite steep. Very big line. Hey Herb, what's up? Says I'll be in New York City next week. Awesome, Herb. Hope you enjoy. Andrew says, any hotel recommendations for $200 to $300 a night? Ooh. You know, that could be a little bit tough, my friend. That could be a little bit tough because particularly with this new regulations that has been put in place on Airbnbs, I've noticed the hotel rates have absolutely gone pretty much up and to the right, if you will. It's going to only get more and more expensive to stay in a hotel in New York now that all of these Airbnb laws have been put in place. So honestly, $200 to $300 in that range, it's going to be tough. I don't know. I really don't even know if there's any like decent hotels in Manhattan that you could get for that. I'll have to look. You know, because I used to recommend like the main Hilton there as you walk up towards Central Park, the flagship Hilton, but I think now even that is like $600 a night, which is wild. And a lot of the other hotels that we walk past on the stream are like $1,000 a night, right? Like the Park Hyatt and all that. Maybe try some of the ones on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, like around 72nd Street. You know, I think those are probably going to be in that price range, hopefully. I just haven't really checked in a long time, but when I did take a quick peek out of curiosity, all the hotels were even more expensive than they used to be. And I think that's because a lot of the hotel lobby is maximizing on the increased regulations and restrictions on Airbnb going into the holiday season. It's not uncommon to see, you know, $900 to $1,100 a night at some of these hotels in New York. But I'd try the Upper West Side, because the last thing you want to do is find some very shady hotel in a not, you know, less than optimal area, pay like $200 a night, and then it's going to be very dirty. So wow, check this out. This is an amazing view of the World Trade Center from down here. Now, if we continue to walk all the way up West Street, you will hit into Goldman Sachs. This is Goldman Sachs global headquarters right there on the Hudson River.
Guys, I'm trying to help you, brother. You're wasting your time.
Oh, those, a lot of times when you walk around, a lot of times when you, what's it called, walk around these parks, there'll be the, like grifter people, scammers trying to scam you. I've even seen some people trying to sell tickets to the Staten Island Ferry to tourists. You know what? There is a new hotel that just opened. It's called the Wall Street Hotel. I think it's at 82 Wall Street. And that used to be an office building. That was actually my old office at 82 Wall Street. And now it's called the Wall Street Hotel. It's actually right where the Buttonwood Agreement was signed, which essentially signified the first formal stock exchange in the United States. the Buttonwood Agreement. It's actually on display. The original copy is on display at the New York Stock Exchange, which is pretty cool. You know, many of you have been asking when I've told that story. In the next newsletter that I'll send out, I'll include some photos of the original Buttonwood Agreement that I took at the New York Stock Exchange for my trip there. So if you want to check that out, just type !news, N-E-W-S in the chat, and the Nightbot will drop the link to the Behind the Street newsletter. It's pretty much our research piece that we send out every other Thursday after the market closes. So we cover US equities, pretty much global markets, fixed income, real estate. So if you want to receive that every other Thursday, just type !news, N-E-W-S, and just punch in your email and you'll be signed up to receive it. Look at how gorgeous this looks. This is unbelievable. This shot here is unbelievably picturesque. Beautiful colors. Wow. Stunning here. Yeah, the LT process is kind of like a painting. It's really nice. We never really come down here to Battery Park, so looks like they're planting some trees. That's really nice. You can see New Jersey across the river too. Hey, Andrews, also thank you for the Aswat Damodaran YouTube recommendation the other night. Yeah, no problem. It's, you know, for those of you who don't know, Damodaran, professor, is one of the most sought after professors at the NYU Stern School of Business. And he's very generous, so he uploads a lot of his lectures online for free. So if you just go to his YouTube channel, you can take a look at pretty much all of his lectures. Let's see where they're going to put this one. You can see a lot of the clouds clearing from the top of the Trade Center. Hey, Cal Reeves. Tom, I'm enjoying your afternoon stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We're going to see some more foliage coming up here. But yeah, I have a few, I think what I'll do, what I want to do, I have an Excel spreadsheet where essentially I've compiled what I believe is all of the best free financial information on the internet. And every so often I'll go and review that. And I think I'll incorporate that in the newsletter. So every issue I'll give you guys sort of one free resource that I think is going to be very good. I think if I just give it out all at once, not a lot of people will actually utilize it in the appropriate way. I believe that's the main thing to sort of keep in mind, right? Technology is very deflationary in nature. Wow, this walkway here is fantastic. Technology is very deflationary in nature, and the good thing about technology is there's pretty much an archive of all of the work of the greatest professors and educators throughout history, and it's on the internet for free. The problem is, not really the problem, but the thing is you just have to sort of build and sharpen your autodidact skills, if you will, right? Oh, look at these Halloween costume dogs. Guys, check this thing out. I think they're spiders. Yeah, I mean, all of Warren Buffett's shareholder letters are archived on the internet for free. A lot of the writing and the work of some of the best money managers are all archived for free as well. So if you could just time box like an hour every day or 30 minutes every day just to review some of that material, you know, drill it for 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day, you know, over time that's going to compound out into a lot. This is an amazing shot from West Street on the corner of West and Albany. All right, we'll cross to the Trade Center and I gotta jump back on the train and I gotta go back to work. All right, everybody, this is my stop. I gotta get on the bridge and go back to the subway, and I gotta go to the office. I gotta get a lot of stuff done today, but I just wanted to quickly pop on to give you guys a quick shot around the Lower Manhattan neighborhood. Check out One Wall Street. We will be live tonight at 8:30 p.m. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. And again, if you want to sign up for our free financial newsletter, if you just type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, click the link, punch in your email, you will receive all of our research for free. I gotta run, guys. I will see you later. I'm getting some calls here. All right, guys, take care. Have a great Monday.